just went through a whole science project trying to get my lab ready for broadcasting. Y'all just welcome me back. Don't judge me. Don't ask me no questions. I've been MIA living this life, okay? Just welcome the kid back. So, I got my iPad here. I got some notes. I have a whole bunch of blog posts and stuff that I have been writing and the Lord has been downloading. I've just been disobedient, so forgive me. I am trying so hard to be more obedient. I am just getting back from surgery that I had earlier this week. And then today I had a funeral. And I was like, okay, I need to be obedient because I was listening to yesterday a motivational speech from the actor Denzel Washington, and he was saying, this was so profound. He said, you know, I like to think of it like on your deathbed, it'll be you and some ghosts. These ghosts represent those things that you were supposed to do in your lifetime that you never took off with or you never did anything with, and now they're going to die with you because you were the one that was supposed to set it off or do those things. And it convicted me. Mr. Washington, thank you for saying that. So today I am going to be obedient because I have so much things that I wanted to talk about, but I was like, oh, in light of me just coming from surgery, I was listening to a podcast from Sarah Jakes Roberts, who I love, and she said this. She talks to her little girl, her youngest, Ella, and she says to her sometimes when she be acting up, wilding out, probably like fighting little kids, biting her siblings or whatever, she says, are you a healer or a herder? And I, like, it came in one ear and I was like trying to understand it, and it was when I was sleeping. The Holy Spirit wakes me up every morning at 3 o'clock, like clockwork, which is why I tell people I'm not a morning person, because I'm up at 3. By the time I'm up at 3 and God's downloading all this information to me and I'll be back in sleep by like 6:30, I'm always late because 6:30 is probably the time I should be waking up. But from my morning routines, they never, whatever. I'm always just tired. But anyway, so when I woke up for my routine at 3 a.m., it hit me like John 10:10 when you'll see the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but the Lord comes to give life and life more abundantly. And I thought about it, where's my position? Sounds simple, whatever. I was like, okay, if I'm doing something random like stealing or something, that's obviously on the wrong end of the spectrum. But if I'm doing the right thing as a Christian, am I giving life? Or am I, what's another way of saying it? Am I loving? Of course. But giving life more abundantly. That's kind of how it's said in the Word. And I thought about that, and it was just, I guess, the catalyst to push me to kind of just do my first post coming back. So I asked myself, are my actions killing, stealing, or destroying? And when I'm not obedient, I feel like it is stealing. And it's not being obedient. I'm not giving life. I'm not healing or loving. I'm technically hurting if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then, like coming from the funeral, every time it's an eye-opener. This gentleman played for my choir, my community choir, that I serve as the president for, and I've been a part of this choir like the year after I moved to New Jersey, so about 6 years, and he's always been our drummer. And you just kind of like, hey, you see people, that's me at least, I'm like, hey, and I see them on the occasions when we have rehearsal or when we have our concerts or when we play at other churches or from other ministries, and you think nothing of it. I thought nothing of it, and then next thing you know, in my leadership chat, we get a text like, he just had a heart attack, pray for him. And then 5 minutes later, oh no, he passed. I'm like, what? Happened so fast. This gentleman was 8 days before he turned 34. So it's right before his birthday. He didn't even get to celebrate his birthday. And it just made me think, like, it doesn't matter how old I am, how old we are. This happens. life happens, we die. Did we serve our purpose? And every time I attend a funeral or I hear about someone dying, it repositions me, it refocuses me back to my purpose. Am I gonna, like Denzel Washington says, am I gonna die with all my ghosts, those things, those purposes, those things that I was supposed to offset during my lifetime, or am I gonna die knowing that I've fulfilled my purpose? All of that long story to say, welcome me back. I hope to be posting a little more, even if I'm not doing videos. I hope to be at least on Snapchat or Instagram, and definitely writing posts. So be reading if you are a reader. If not, you can just follow my little mini post, like 10 seconds of my daily thoughts or whatever that come through. I'll try to be more faithful. Y'all know me, life, just like y'all got life. I'm not making an excuse for myself, but yeah. Otherwise, updates on me. So I did just have surgery. So long story short, super long story, not short, long story medium. Long story medium, I met someone last year. Everything happens for a reason. Let's start there. Everything happens for a reason. It never really makes sense. I was on a job search because I was annoyed by my job last year sometime. And I was casually looking, not for sure, for real. And I was like, oh, let me do some informational interviews. Informational interviewed this one random man that I found. He was the one person that reached back out to me. I emailed maybe like 4 people. He was the only person that reached out to me. And he was a talker, the type of person that just talks for everything. So this gentleman was talking, and he told me about a friend of his who had a child who had a permanent disability. I was like, oh, for real? Me too. I got a permanent disability. And he tells me about the surgeon. And he gives me the name of the hospital, which just so happens to be the hospital I was born at. Cool. So then I set up like an inquiry appointment, consultation, there you go, to figure out, like, what's up, what y'all do, can y'all help a sister out, or no, that's just for people with the leg thing that the guy had. Go there, find out that they had this big unit for this thing. And so the doctors there's a bunch of doctors that work together. One of them sat with me, and he was like, oh, I know what you have, this is what it's called. And there's one expert who's basically like the one expert in the world right now. He works out of Texas, but he comes to our hospital too. So here's his contact information. Reach out to him so we could use him. So I reach out to this guy. His name's Dr. Knapp. And what I have, the official name, is brachial plexus injury, BPI, right? And so, all right, find out all out, meet with Dr. Knapp. I had to drive to see him. I had to drive 2.5 hours or so to Pennsylvania to meet him, ask him questions about his expertise, me, how he could help me, if he could help me. And then we go through this whole plan. I think he didn't take me serious because he meets so many people around the world. So then I came back a couple months after I met him the first time. And then I was like, all right, cool, I'm ready for surgery. In my brain, I think I'm going to be 30 soon. Before I turn 30, this is the roll of the dice. I've lived with this disability all my life. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, okay. It just don't work. I'm at least roll my dice. So that's basically the long story medium. So I went to Texas this past week by myself, unfortunately. And it was, I think I wasn't scared. I didn't have time to be scared. I just needed to get business done. And so everybody's like, oh my God, you're so brave. I'm like, you would say that to a 10-year-old or something, but I'm grown. So, I mean, it's more than bravery here. It's just me doing what I gotta do. But I appreciated people's comments, I guess. But, so yeah, you got those people that made those comments that said that the nurses, doctors, kind of just like, no, you shouldn't really go by yourself. And I'm like, okay, if I go with somebody else, they're not going to be in the surgery room with me. They're going to just sit and come visit me. It's just too much. Lucky I had a friend who lives in Houston, so I called her to come visit me after. Thank God she was able to. Shouts out to you. Hey, Jane. that was that. That was my support system pretty much for surgery. Moving forward, oh, I gotta tell y'all about surgery. But basically, this first procedure was called the Mod Quad. You can Google it. But it's for functioning to raise my hand. Granted, most of his clients are very young, 3 months, 6 months old. You know, people have this injury at birth. And so they normally do these surgeries at 6 months, years old, and 6 months, years old. You know what I mean? Or, you know, 2 years old. My first surgery was at 5 years old, and only surgery up until now. So most of his patients, I'd like to say, are very young. So even though I'm not that old, I was one of his oldest patients. So that means when he does the surgery, the research says that more healing will happen if it happens closer to the injury, which would have been at birth for me. And your girl's kind of old, so that was a long time ago. So it means we're shooting our shot. Maybe it works, maybe it don't. What frustrated me the most is when people would text me or call me and just be like, so what's up, your arm work? First of all, y'all found me like this. All right. Second of all, don't worry. Chill. Because if it stay like this, we good. Even if they chop it off, chill. I'm still me. Like, my personality doesn't change, okay? Thank you. Make sure you check on my well-being. Don't worry about the functioning, because if there's no functioning, y'all gonna be disappointed, and I don't need that energy fed over here. I'm just saying. Anyways, so mind your manners. That's all I'm saying. But as far as surgery is concerned, I was afraid to go under anesthesia because I could remember the child, my surgery from age 5, going under the mask, and they made me blow into a balloon and shove the mask down my face. I was like, no, I don't want to blow balloons. And they still made me blow balloons until I fell asleep. So I knew I didn't want to do gas. They did general anesthesia. Apparently they gave me a margarita shot in my IV. And then the anesthesiologist, the real one, came in after I got into this room with a bunch of lights. Homeboy came in like he was probably drinking some of this medicine for breakfast, okay? He was like, hey, everybody. I'm like, oh, somebody's real hype. I'm like half drunk. Maybe I perceived it differently because I'm half drunk from the margarita shot. And so he says, you ready to get knocked out? Choop, right in my IV. I'm not joking. He didn't give me a chance to respond. I didn't even get a chance to blink my eyes. All I remember, that's the last thing I remembered. And then I woke up like a little less than an hour later. Like, oh, we're done? Miss Malay, do you know where you are? I'm like, yeah. I'm good. So that was that. Otherwise, the hospital, very disappointed. They didn't give me things like gauze. But they gave us like toothpaste, toothbrush, blankets. Even blankets and IV, I had to like beg for because they were like, oh, we have to order that. And I'm like, dude. So I'm supposed to change my gauze. This is where the surgery is, under my arm here. I'm supposed to change this twice a day and not get it wet. Of course, disobedient me went to a wedding, and I was emceeing my family's wedding. My cousin got married the day after I got back, 2 days after surgery. I wasn't going to go, but then I was like, a wedding is a life event. You never get it again. So let me just go. Damn. I went there and I sweated my behind off. And I got so nervous from sweating because I'm not supposed to sweat. So then I was like, crap. So then the ride back, unfortunately, we was in a packed car. These extra people, they random, they raggedy. They didn't want to pay for an Uber to get home, so they asked us to give them a ride. So unfortunately, I'm the one in the back seat. I had it by myself, and we were in a 2-door, like a coupe. It was 3 of them. The seat only supposed to fit 2. I'm already in 1. So it's already 2 extra people too much. So you had the little girl sitting on 2 aunts. I don't know. It was raggedy. So the lady's leaning on me, and I was trying to like make myself in a position where I had room. Not possible. Anyways, long story short, she was leaning on me for an hour until she got to where she needed to go. And then my arm was numb. I thought it was just at the moment, but it's been numb since Thursday. So y'all pray for me. I reached out to the doctor today because I was like, all right, 3 days numb. That's not normal, at least in my brain, but maybe to him it's normal, so I gotta ask. And then the urgent care. I'm supposed to go there to check my wound, to make sure it's healing properly and, you know, I ain't dying or I ain't got no infection. Go there, and the doctor looks and she's like, she don't want to touch it. And I'm like, miss, you know what, matter of fact, you don't need to touch it. I just need your eyes. Can I borrow your eyes? Can you just look at it to tell me that I'm not dying, that it looks normal? That was on Friday, because Thursday was a wedding, and then from all the stuff, the sweating and the numbness, I was like, let me just go to the hospital just to check. So sure enough, she barely wanted to look at it, and she was like, let me send a nurse in. I don't know why I had to see a doctor if the doctor had to send a nurse in. Who's the expert here? I don't know. So this nurse, she was by far the best nurse I have met this week. From the hospital to the urgent care, the best nurse. Except for my dog Suze at the hospital. She was cool. The one that when I woke up from anesthesia, she was so nice because I was starving. I ain't eat since the day before, and she hooked me up, found me some crackers, then got me a grilled cheese sandwich. I was happy. But this lady, I guess she had recently, 6 weeks ago, had some sort of procedure done. She understood me because she had the same problem. So she couldn't find anybody to check her wound like me. And these doctors are funny. If they did not do your surgery, they are not touching you. And I'm like, bro, so if I go to the ER, y'all just gonna let me die until I get to what, Texas? Or he comes here from Texas? That's crazy. So she hooked the girl up. First of all, she explained to me what the wound should look like, how long it should be, more than the doctor did. I asked the doctor questions. Shorty didn't want to answer me. She was acting crazy. Let me grab this bag. This is the bag your girl Labora gave you. Mind you, I told y'all at the hospital they didn't even want to give me gauze. They told me how to go buy it. By the way, guys, if you never had to buy gauze before, tell Lord thank you, because gauze ain't cheap. I was like, okay, let me try to get it from Amazon. If you're trying to buy sterile gauze, like a little pack could be like $18. I'm like, I need gauze enough for 2 weeks to change twice a day. Plus I need the medical tape. Like, this thing is packed up in there, bro. Y'all can't see it under my clothes, but it's packed up in there. Your girl gave me the gauze, the sterile gauze. She gave me a pad and she gave me tape. Nah, tape ain't easy. I'm shocked she gave me the tape. I'm shocked she didn't tell me to, like, thug it. You know, put it under a shirt, wear a tight shirt, or wrap it with the little Band-Aid wraps, like, whatever. But she was so nice. I never, this week, ain't met nobody like my dog. So shouts out to you, shorty. You're doing what nurses should do. You care about people. This is the kind of medical professionals we need in this world, like, that actually care, that actually, you know, show people love. I don't know, but whatever I had was in good service before her. Even that doctor, gosh, I was waiting to do a survey. Guys, I'm queen of survey. I was trying to do a survey, but the survey was for another medical professional and not that particular doctor that I saw. But shawty, you know who you are. Don't worry, because when I come back there, I'm going to tell your boss about you. You ain't got to worry about it. But, yeah, let me see. That's it. That's basically the update. Besides surgery, recovery is supposed to be 2 weeks. Then I have to do physical therapy. And then I'm hoping to do a couple more procedures. He suggested 6. He said by surgery 2 or 3, the ladies are happy and they don't normally want more. And I'm like, what you mean the ladies are happy? You're acting like I'm getting a boob job or something. But I guess he means like cosmetically they think, because again, it's a gamble at my age because it's so far from the injury. And most of these functions may or may not work. I'm shooting my shot. So he's like, you know, if I get your hand, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. If I get your hand to do certain functions, maybe that's all you want and you don't want to play with it anymore. Which is true. We'll see. I'm shooting my shot all the way to the end, low key. But we'll see. It looked like he's ready to give up on me more than I'm ready to give up on him. But okay. So that was that. Talked about anesthesia and we talked about that. That's it. Yeah. So I'm also going to be a part of a play. That's so random. It's nothing to do with this. At my church, Agape House of Worship in Roselle. So y'all should come. That's on August 30th, the Friday. I'm going to post on social media our commercial. It just came out. It's hot out the press, honey. It's like a 2-second commercial. Don't even worry about it. Don't tell you nothing. But I've also been posting on Snapchat and Instagram a little bit. Y'all know I'm far and few in between. But just follow me on all of the social media outlets. And you'll be able to see updates. And of course, my choir, we're coming back around, Love and Fellowship Community Choir. We'll be having a concert again in January, like we do every year, the last Sunday in January. So details will come out later. Just save the date so you don't be out of town or nothing. Find yourself here in New Jersey somewhere. And that's really all my updates. Y'all pray for me. And the opening of this, are you a healer or a herder? Just think about the things that you do on a daily basis or what you're called to do. If you're not doing what you're called to do, you're probably hurting more people than you're healing. But, you know, when we talk to our brothers and sisters, and when we make our moves, however we move, are we healing people or are we hurting them? It's our jobs to heal the people around us, love the people around us, love on them in every way that we can. So that's really it. I'm sorry I've been on a hiatus, but you know, life, school, so expect a little more. But y'all know I'm super excited about school. Maybe later on I'll be posting stuff about me teaching classes in the community, inviting parents and couples, because that's my population of people, because I love teaching. Obviously, I just talk and I teach people stuff, life lessons that I've learned from others, mostly because I haven't lived a long life too much yet. So I hope to be teaching courses on simple things. I will give you guys more details when I start teaching. That'll be down the line, maybe in the next year. But yeah, as we get closer to dissertation and stuff, I gotta start becoming an expert. And that's how I'll be becoming an expert. I'll be using my research to start teaching, and I'll be bringing in, hopefully, other people to collaborate me and teach the community. That's what I want, is teach the community. Yeah, that's that. So y'all pray for me as far as school and my health and all of that. Of course, my ministry, and me spiritually, my growth, my obedience, because it's not easy getting behind these cameras, setting them up, editing videos, and doing all of that. And mostly lazy. So y'all pray about me being lazy. And that's it. I hope to see you guys around. When y'all see me, say hey, say what's up. And I'll say hey, and I'll say what's up. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.